Welcome to this live stream. Very happy to welcome you tonight. I'm very happy this evening. Let me set it. All right. Yes, I'm very happy this evening to welcome you to this live stream. I am your host, Raymond Mutuku, and I'm very happy to welcome you tonight. It's a wonderful live stream. Happy New Year, my dear brothers and sisters from wherever you're watching me. Happy New Year. Having said that, I want to welcome you to this wonderful place. Let me take something. Yes, if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Very happy to welcome you. Welcome. And very happy this wonderful day. In some countries it's still 1st of January. It is 2nd of January, but it's still 1st. So I will record this as 1st of January 2026. And I'm very happy that we have crossed the year peacefully. I'm grateful to God for giving us another opportunity, and also want to welcome you, my dear brothers and sisters, to this channel. I'm very happy to welcome you. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. I can see somebody called C Jorib. Welcome. Welcome to this channel. Very happy. Happy New Year to you too. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Welcome. Happy New Year, guys. From wherever you're watching me, Happy New Year. Is it too late to say Happy New Year? Happy New Year, guys. Yeah, and I'm very happy. I hope that this year will be an amazing year for you guys. I hope that you will be able to achieve everything that you want, and may God fulfill all the desires of your heart. Happy New Year, guys. And I'm very happy to welcome you to a brand new year. Welcome to this channel, and I'm blessed. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'm very humbled to be here. Thank you so much, and thank you. I'm very humbled this wonderful evening to continue with this channel, and I promised you guys that I'm going to do my best to make sure that this channel continues to grow in leaps and bounds. I will ensure that this channel continues to grow. Please, if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. I'm very happy to welcome you all. Yes. So tell me what's new. Tell me what is new. I was just talking to a few friends of mine before I came, and the new year has a lot of pressure. Happy New Year. Thank you. Pressure, people put a lot of a lot of they say, this year I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, I'm going to they're called New Year's resolutions. But it's funny because most people forget their New Year's plans because I don't know, maybe because you thought the resolutions would be easy, but only to realize that the resolutions are easier said. It's easy on paper, but when it comes to making them a reality, that is where the game becomes difficult. Welcome, guys. Happy New Year. That is when the game becomes difficult. That's when, but I would advise you all just keep it simple. The New Year's resolutions, keep them simple. We'll be reading the word, and I'm very happy. We'll be reading the word, and we'll try to, try to apply the word in our lives and try to see things through another perspective, right? So if you're new to this channel, please welcome and be part of this family by subscribing. And I know that God is going to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think through his power that works in us. We are still reading the scripture. At least we'll just keep it simple here. We're not going to have I'm not going to promise you that we'll go to the moon. No, we're not gonna go to the moon. We'll be here reading. We're not going to do things out of the script. We'll still continue reading, trying to understand the word, because I kept, every time I read the word, I learn something new. And also in this, trying to stream, it's a learning, it's still learning. So, so don't, we are not complete, we're still learning. So please join us. As I said that we are trying to come up with a studio this month. I hope that we'll start setting up things. So don't worry, there will be a few changes here and there, but just stay calm and let's read the word. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. We're in Genesis 29. We read a few we read the word, at least in 9 chapters. Let us continue. All right, please join us and be part of this program. Then Jacob continued on his journey and came to the land of the eastern peoples. There he saw a well in the open country with 3 flocks of sheep lying near it, because the flocks were watered from that well. The stone over the mouth of the well was large. When all the flocks had gathered there, the shepherds would roll away the stone from the well's mouth and water the sheep. All right? Then they would return the stone to its place over the mouth of the well. Then Jacob asked the shepherds, "My brothers, where are you from?" "We are from Haran." If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. "We are from Haran," they replied. He said to them, "Do you know Laban, Nahor's grandson?" "Yes, we know him," they answered. Then Jacob asked them, "Is he well?" "Yes, he is," they said, "and here comes his daughter Rachel with the sheep." "Look," he said, the sun is still high. It is not time for the flocks to be gathered. Water the sheep and take them back to the pasture." "We can't," they replied, "until all the flocks are gathered and the stone has been rolled away. Then from the mouth of the well, then we'll water the sheep." While he was still talking with them, welcome to this channel. Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherd. When Jacob saw Rachel, daughter of his uncle Laban, and the Laban sheep, he went over and rolled the stone away from the mouth of the well and watered his uncle's sheep. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Please tell me we are reading the scripture. I'll be very happy if you're part of this program. Then Jacob kissed Rachel and began to weep aloud. He had told Rachel that he was a relative of her father and the son of Rebekah, so she ran and told her father. As soon as Laban heard the news about Jacob, his sister's son, he hurriedly to meet him. He embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his home. And there Jacob told him all these things. Then Laban said to him, "You are my own flesh and blood." Welcome to this channel. If you're new to this channel, subscribe, comment, tell me where you're watching me from. How is your new year? Here we are just reading the word. I hope I said that we are going reading the word again, hoping to have a good grasp of the scripture. It's January, in fact, good time. Oh my goodness, it's January. We're in Genesis, and I hope my goal is that in the next at least 60 days, if we stay focused, we'll be able to capture some of the things that we didn't capture and read the word and try to understand the word. I want it to be a daily thing, I don't want us to be a one-hit wonder. All right, I don't want us to be a one-hit wonder. I want us to have consistency in whatever that we are doing. That way, we'll be able to have a mastery of not only the word, but also the skill set that we have. All right, we'll have the confidence to approach, the word. We'll be able to approach it with confidence. In fact, as I was talking to my friends, sorry about that, I told, we are starting a studio, and one of the things, because you see, we'll be writing songs, and I was telling, some of our musicians that we're going to sign in, I'll give them a contract, is that, it's always good to read the word, because you wouldn't want us to, go over and over again, trying to find, what are you trying to sing about. But if you sing from a point of knowledge, then it would be amazing. All right, we don't want to be doing things just gambling. I don't want us to gamble. I want us to do things from a point of knowledge. Even if you are skilled, just being skilled is not enough. We need to take time also to go through the word. And you see, the year 2026, the theme of this year is walking through the reality of the word. So we have to see the word. We have to see the word in our lives. And because, that is also something that, people think, it's not relevant in today's world. The word of God is not important. It's not relevant. The principles that are shared in the scripture are not applicable in today's world, and there's that challenge. And of course, also trying to get the youth to try to read the word is not so it's something that we have to be socialized in trying to read the word. Because I think if you ask any youth in Africa or in Kenya, what would you prefer? Would you prefer reading the word? Or would you prefer, watching the housewives of the real housewives of a particular place? Um, Most people, of course, will prefer watching, the latest series. Most people will prefer, watching it to be entertained. So you see here, we are trying to reprogram the minds of people, telling them, going, education is still important, even if you're a musician, education is still important. But, most people will say, okay, uh, so reading the word also is also as good, as sharpening your skill, because even if you're a poet or if you're a musician, uh, you can imagine you want to sing to people, yet your song maybe is not inspiring in any way. It's just, a good voice and you're dancing to the beat. But that is not our goal. Are we together? So let's continue reading. Welcome to this channel. We're in Genesis 29. All right. So if you're new to this channel, subscribe, comment, tell me where you're watching me from. And welcome, Leslie, to this channel. Please subscribe and comment. After Jacob had stayed with him for a whole month, Laban said to him, just because you're a relative of mine, should you work for me for nothing? Tell me what your wages should be. Now Laban had two daughters. The name of the elder one was Leah, and the name of the younger one was Rachel. Leah had weak eyes, but Rachel had a lovely figure and was beautiful. So Jacob was in love with Rachel and said, I'll work for you 7 years in return for your younger daughter Rachel. Laban said, it's better than that I give her to you than some other man. Stay here with me. So Jacob served 7 years to get Rachel. But they seemed like only a few days to him because of his love for her. Then Jacob said to Laban, give me my wife. My time is completed, and I want to make love to her. So Laban brought together all the people of the place and gave a feast. But when evening came, he took his daughter Leah and brought her to Jacob, and Jacob made love to her. And Jacob gave his servant Zilpah to his daughter as her attendant. When morning came, it was Leah. So you see Jacob here for the first time in his life. You see Jacob, was a very cunning individual. He lied to get the blessing of his father. But now it seems that the walls are closing in on him for the first time in his life. He is now on the other side, on the receiving end of the trickery game. Now he has been told to work for 7 years. So 7 years elapsed, but when it elapsed, he wasn't given what he wanted. So Jacob said to Laban, what is this you have done to me? I served you for Rachel, didn't I? Why have you deceived me? So for the first time here, Jacob is now being deceived. He was the deceiver, but now he is being deceived. It's funny because he ran away from his father's home because of being a deceiver. In fact, the name Jacob suggests that he is a deceiver. But now he's being deceived. It's funny because when the deceiver is deceived. So Laban replied, it is not our custom here to give the younger daughter in marriage before the elder one. Finish this daughter's bridal week. Then we will give you the younger one also in return for another 7 years of work. So he was told to work for 7 years. and then work for another 7 years. Let's continue reading to find out what happened. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. Let's continue reading about Jacob. And Jacob did so. He finished the week with Leah, and then Laban gave him his daughter Rachel to be his wife. Laban gave his servant Bilhah to his daughter Rachel as attendant. So here there are two attendants. Now the family of Jacob has expanded. Now it's Jacob, there's Rachel, there's Zilpah, then there's Bilhah. Then so Jacob here, there are 4 women now in his life. So Jacob made love to Rachel also, and his love for Rachel was greater than his love for Leah, and he worked for Laban another 7 years. So those are 14 years of hard labor. Let's continue reading. When the Lord saw that Leah was not loved, he enabled her to conceive, but Rachel remained childless. So the issue of childlessness also went from Abraham, it went to Isaac, also Rebecca was childless, then it went to Jacob. So here is 3 generations of childlessness. Leah became pregnant and gave birth to a son. He named him Reuben, for she said, "It is because the Lord has seen my misery. Surely my husband will love me now." She conceived again, and when she gave birth to a son, she said, "Because the Lord has heard that I'm not loved, he gave me this one also, so I'll name him Simeon." Again she conceived, and when she gave birth to a son, she said, "Now at last my husband will become attached to me, because I bore him 3 sons. So he named him Levi. She conceived again, and when she gave birth to a son, she said, "This time I will praise the Lord." So he named him Judah. Then she stopped having children. So here Leah had 4 sons. Number 1, his first son was called Reuben. The second son was called Simeon. The third son was called Levi. The fourth son was called Judah. So Judah came from Leah. Let's continue reading. Here, remember Rachel in this chapter, she was childless. Continue reading. When Rachel saw that she was not bearing Jacob any children, she became jealous of her sister. So she said to Jacob, "Give me children or I die." Jacob became angry with her and said, "Am I in the place of God, who has kept you from having children?" Then she said, "Here is Bilhah, my servant, sleep with her so that she can bear children for me, and I too can build a family through her." So she gave him her servant Bilhah as a wife. So Jacob slept with her, and she became pregnant and bore him a son. Then Rachel said, "God has vindicated me. He has listened to my plea and gave me a son." Because of this, she named him Dan. So Bilhah conceived again and bore Jacob a second son. Then Rachel said, I have had a great struggle with my sister and have won. So he named him Naphtali. When Leah saw that she had stopped having children, she took her servant Zilpah and gave her to Jacob as a wife. Then Leah's servant Zilpah bore Jacob a son. Then Leah said, "What good fortune!" So he named him Gad. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Very happy this wonderful evening to be here. We'll be reading, don't worry. We'll be spending our time, our nights reading, because I think reading is also good for the mind. It's also good for your well-being, all right? So Leah's servant Zilpah bore Jacob a second son. Then Leah said, "How happy I am! The women will call me happy." So she named him Asher. So during the wheat harvest, Reuben went out into the fields and found some mandrake plants, which he had brought to his mother Leah. Rachel said to Leah, please give me some of your son's mandrakes. But she said to her, wasn't it enough that you took away my husband? Will you also take my son's mandrakes too? Very well, she said, he can sleep with you tonight in return of your son's mandrakes. So when Jacob came in from the fields that evening, Leah went out to meet him. You must sleep with me, she said. I hired you with my son's mandrakes. So he slept with her that night. So God listened to Leah, and she became pregnant and bore Jacob a fifth son. Then Leah said, God has rewarded me for giving my servant to my husband. So he named him Issachar. So Leah conceived again and bore Jacob a sixth son. Oh my goodness, you see here Jacob had sons too. But we'll see that he had also daughters. I think he had a daughter called Dinah. So Leah conceived again and bore Jacob a sixth son. Then Leah said, God has presented me with a precious gift. This time my husband will treat me with honor because I've given him six sons. He named him Zebulon. Let's continue reading. Sometime later, he gave birth to a daughter and named her Dinah. That is the seventh child of Leah. Then God remembered Rachel and listened to her and enabled her to conceive. She became pregnant and gave birth to a son and said, God has taken away my disgrace. Joseph, and said, may the Lord add to me another son. After Rachel gave birth to Joseph, Jacob said to Laban, send me on my way so that I can go back to my own homeland. Give me my wives and children for whom I have served you. We're in Genesis 30. Subscribe and comment. If you're new to here, I want to welcome you to this live stream. We'll be reading to continue with our stream. I want us to, it is my desire that we read the scripture again in 60 days. Is it possible? I don't know. Maybe we can do that in 60 days. I would really want to do that. I would really want to read the scripture in 60 days. Oh my goodness, that would be great. I would want to see that. So if you're new to this channel, subscribe, comment, join this challenge of reading the word. Why are you watching falsehood? Why are you watching things that are false instead of, putting your mind at work, putting your energy at work and just reading the word? Maybe, just maybe, you might, be imparted. You might be inspired by the word. Last year we finished reading. We finished reading the word on 19th of December. And we continued. Now we're in Genesis 30. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'll be very happy if you are part of this channel. So here, so here we can see increase in the life of Jacob. He has now sons, he has a daughter, and he has worked for 14 years. So Laban said to him, If I have found favor in your eyes, please stay. I have learned by divination that the Lord has blessed me because of you. So here is divination. So here you can see this is a clash of two altars. Laban was using divination to learn about, the people who use divination, fortune telling, stuff like that, reading, reading the future. I know some people, it's the beginning of the year and people want, of course, people are usually anxious about their future. They go to seek, people to tell them what the future holds. Now, those are, diviners. So here, Laban has said that he used divination. He added, name your wages and I will pay them. You see, there are people who maybe they can, for them to get more money, they're told, you know, you want to make sales. Sorry, you want to make sales? Okay, fine. We'll give you this. It will help you. It will bring. It will attract people to you, so that they can do business. You know, stuff like that. There are people who use charms for stuff like that. So it's it's believe in God also. You must also believe in those kinds of things. So Jacob said to him, "You know how I've worked for you and how your livestock has fared under my care. The little you had because before I came has increased greatly, and the Lord has blessed you wherever I have been. But now, when may I do something for my own household? What shall I give you? Don't give me anything." Jacob replied, "But if you will do this one thing for me, I will go on tending on your flocks and watching over them. Let me go through all your flocks today and remove from them every speckled or spotted sheep, every dark-colored lamb, and every spotted or speckled goat. They will be my wages, and my honesty will testify for me in the future whenever you check on the wages you have paid me. Any goat in my possession that is not speckled or spotted, or any lamb that is not dark colored, will be considered stolen." So here there were those goats that were, black, gray, had so many colors. So Jacob told him, "Let that be my wages." "Agreed," said Laban. Let it be as you have said." That same day he removed all the male goats that was streaked or spotted, and all the speckled or spotted female goats, all that had white on them. At least if it has a spot, white spot, he would take them as his. And all the dark-colored lambs, and he placed them in the care of his sons. Then he put a 3-day journey between himself and Jacob, while Jacob continued to tend the rest of his. So Jacob, however, took fresh-cut branches from poplar, almond, and plane trees and made white stripes on them by peeling the bark and exposing the white inner wood of the branches. Then he placed the peeled branches in all the watering troughs, so that they would be directly in front of the flocks when they came to drink. When the flocks were in heat and came to drink, they mated in front of the branches, and so they bore young that were streaked or speckled or spotted. So Jacob set apart the young of the flock by themselves, but made the rest face the streaked and dark-colored animals that belonged to Laban. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Thus he made separate flocks for himself and did not put them in Laban's animals. Whenever the stronger females were in heat, Jacob would place the branches in the troughs in front of the animals so that they would mate near the branches. But if the animals were weak, he would not place them there. So the weak animals went to Laban and the strong ones to Jacob. In this way, the man grew exceedingly prosperous and came to own large flocks, female and male servants, camels, and donkeys. If you're new to this channel, subscribe, comment, tell me where you are watching me from. We are reading the word again. If you're new to this channel, it's such an amazing time to read. So Jacob heard that Laban's sons were saying, "Jacob has father owned and has gained all this wealth from what belonged to our father." And Jacob noticed that Laban's attitude towards him was not what it had been. So the sons of Laban became, indifferent towards Jacob, because Jacob came with nothing. He just came. Now he took 4 women from the household of Laban. He took sheep. He gained servants. He gained donkeys. So of course they said, he came alone. Now look at all that he has. So of course they felt that whatever Jacob had belonged to his father-in-law Laban. Then the Lord said to Jacob, "Go back to the land of your fathers and to your relatives, and I'll be with you." So Jacob sent word to Rachel and Leah to come out in the fields where his flocks were. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. He said to them, "I see that your father's attitude towards me is not what it was before. But the God of my father has been with me. You know that I've worked for your father with all my strength, yet your father has cheated me by changing my wages 10 times. Let's continue reading. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Don't worry, let me go and take a pen so that we can note down some of those verses for you. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Any questions after that? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Any questions out there? Welcome to this channel. Any question? Sorry about that. Oh, if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I just went to take my pen and continue reading. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. So here you can see that Jacob is complaining about Laban. You know that I've worked for your father with all my strength. My father has cheated me by changing my wages 10 times. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. That is Genesis chapter 31, verses 6. Let me write it down. If you're new to this channel, Genesis 31. To this channel, subscribe, comment, tell me where you're watching me from. However, God has not allowed him to harm me. If he said the speckled ones will be your wages, then all the flocks gave birth to speckled young. And he said the speckled ones will be your wages, then all the flocks born streaked young. So God has taken away your father's livestock and has given them to me. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. And God has given them to me. Any questions after that? If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, comment, and be part of this channel. We'll be streaming, don't worry. In the breeding season, I once had a dream in which I looked up and I saw that the male goats mating with the flock was streaked, speckled, or spotted. The angel of the Lord said to me in the dream, Jacob. I answered, Here I am. And he said, Look up and see that all the male goats mating with the flock are speckled, spotted, for I have seen all that Laban has been doing to you. I am the God of Bethel, where you anointed a pillar and where you made a vow to me. Now leave this land at once and go back to your native land. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'll be more than happy to read with you. Then Rachel and Leah replied, Do we still have any share in the inheritance of our father's estate? Does he not regard us as foreigners? Not only has he sold us, but he has used up what was paid for us. Surely all the wealth that God took away from our father belongs to us and our children. So do whatever God has told you. Then Jacob put his children and on his wives on camels and drove all his livestock ahead of him along with all the goods he had accumulated in Paddan Aram to go to his father Isaac in the land of Canaan. When Laban had gone to shear his sheep, Rachel stole her father's household gods. Moreover, Jacob deceived Laban the Aramean by not telling him he was running away. So he fled with all he had, crossed the river Euphrates, and headed for the hill country of Gilead. On the third day, Laban was told that Jacob had fled, taking his relatives with him. He pursued Jacob for 7 days and caught up with him in the hill country of Gilead. Then God came to Laban the Aramean in a dream that night and said to him, Be careful not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'm very happy to be here tonight reading the word with you. So Jacob had pitched his tent in the hill country of Gilead when Laban overtook Laban and his relatives camped there too. Then Laban said to Jacob, What have you done? You have deceived me, and you have carried off my daughters like captives in war. Why do you run off secretly and deceive me? Why didn't you tell me so that I could send you away with joy and singing, music of tambourines and harps? You didn't even let me kiss my grandchildren and my daughters goodbye. You have done a foolish thing. I have the power to harm you, but last night the God of your father said to me, Be careful not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad. Now you have gone off because you have longed to return to your father's household. Why did you steal my goods? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Then Jacob answered Laban, I was afraid because I thought you would take your daughters away from me by force. But if you find anyone who has your gods, that person shall not live in the presence of our relatives. See for yourself whether there is anything of yours here with me. And if so, take it. Now Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen the gods. So Laban went into Jacob's tent and into Leah's tent and into the tent of the 2 servants, but he found nothing. After he came out of the Leah's tent, he entered Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the household gods and put them inside her camel saddle and was sitting on them. So Laban searched through everything in the tent but found nothing. So Rachel said to his father, Don't be angry, my lord, that I cannot stand up in your presence. I'm having a period. So he searched, but he could not find the household gods. So Jacob was angry and took Laban to task. What is my crime? he asked Laban. How have I wronged you that you hunt me down? Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. Now that you have searched through all the goods, all my goods, and what have you found that belongs to your household? Put it here in front of your relatives and mine, and let them judge between the two of us. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Where are you watching me from? If you enjoy this program, please be part of our program and be part of this program. I've been with you for 20 years now. Your sheep and your goats have not miscarried, nor have I eaten rams from your flocks. I did not bring you animals torn by wild beasts. I bore the loss myself, and you demanded payment from me for whatever was stolen by day or night. This was my situation. If you're new to this channel, subscribe. This was my situation. The heat consumed me in the daytime and the cold at night, and sleep fled from my eyes. All right. It was like this for 20 years. So Jacob also was lamenting to his father-in-law Laban that he has been working for 20 years non-stop. I've worked for you 14 years for your 2 daughters and 6 years for your flocks, and you've changed my wages 10 times. If the God of my God of Abraham, the fear of Isaac, had not been with me, you would surely have sent me away empty-handed. But God has seen my hardship and the toil of my hands, and last night he rebuked you. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. So Laban asked Jacob, the women are my daughters, the children are my children, and the flocks are my flocks. All you see is mine. All you see is mine. Yet, what can I do today about these daughters of mine or about the children you have borne? Come now, let's make a covenant, you and I, and let it serve as a witness between us. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. So Jacob took a stone and set it up as a pillar, and he said to his relatives, gather some stones. So they took stones and piled them in a heap, and they ate there by the heap. So Laban called it Jegar Sahadutha, and Jacob called it Galid. Any questions after that? So Laban said, this heap is a witness between you and me today. That is why it's called Galid. It was also called Mizpah, because he said, may the Lord keep watch between you and me when we are away from each other. If you ill-treat my daughters, or if you take my wives besides my daughters, even though no one is with us, remember that God is a witness between you and me. So Laban also said to Jacob, here is this heap, and here is this pillar I've set up between you and me. This heap is a witness, and this pillar is a witness that I will not go past this heap to your side to harm you, and you will not go past this heap and pillar to my side to harm me. May the God of Abraham and the God of Nahor and the God of their father judge between us. If you're new to this channel, be part of this channel. Happy New Year. Welcome to this new year. We are still streaming. Very happy that you are part of this wonderful program. So Jacob took an oath in the name of the fear of his father Isaac. He offered a sacrifice there in the hill country and invited his guests to a meal. After they had eaten, they spent the night there. Early the next morning, Laban kissed his grandchildren and his daughters and blessed them. Then he left and returned home. So we have learned that Laban was from a place called Padan Aram. Padan Aram. All right. And you see, we have also learned that Jacob worked for his father-in-law for 20 years, 14 years for his two wives, and 6 years for the flock. So Jacob prepares to meet Esau. So Jacob also went on his way, and the angels of God met him. Then Jacob saw them, and he said, "This is the camp of God." So he named that place Mahanaim. Jacob sent messengers ahead of him to his brother Esau in the land of Seir, the country of Edom. So here I can see that when they were together, they were 40. Now here, Jacob now is a bit older. He's either late 50s or early 60s. So he instructed them, this is what you are to say to my lord Esau. Your servant Jacob says, I've been staying with Laban and have remained there till now. I have sheep, goats, male and female servants. Now I'm sending this message to my lord that I may still find favor in your eyes. When the message returned to Jacob, they said, we went to your brother Esau, and now he's coming to meet you, and 400 men are with him. So Esau had 400 men. He was with 400 men when he met his brother Jacob. In great fear and distress, Jacob divided the people who were with him into two groups, and the flocks and herds and camels as well. I thought, if Esau comes and attacks one group, the group that is left may escape. So here is a brother afraid of his brother. Jacob was very afraid of Esau when Esau came. Then Jacob prayed, O God of my father Abraham, God of my father Isaac, Lord, who you say to me, go back to your country and to your relatives, and I will make you prosper. I'm unworthy of all the kindness and faithfulness you have shown to your servant. I had only my staff when I crossed the Jordan, but now I've become two camps. Save me, I pray, from the hand of my brother Esau. So here Jacob started praying that Esau does not harm him. Save me, I pray, from the hand of my brother Esau, for I'm afraid he will come and attack me and also the mothers with their children. But you have said, I will surely make you prosper, and I will make your descendants like the sands of the sea, which cannot be counted. He spent the night there, and from what he had with him, he selected a gift for his brother Esau: 200 female goats, 20 male goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 female camels and their young, 40 cows and 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys and 10 male donkeys. He put them in the care of his servants, each had by himself, and he said to his servants, go ahead of me and keep some space between the herbs. So here Esau came with 400 men to meet him. So he spent the night there. Okay, he instructed the ones in the lead, when my brother Esau meets you and asks, who do you belong to, and where are you going, and who owns all these animals in front of you, then you are to say, they belong to your servant Jacob. They are a gift sent to my lord Esau, and he's coming behind us. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Any questions? He also instructed the second and the third and all the others who follow the herds. You are to say the same thing to Esau when you meet him, and be sure to say, your servant Jacob is coming behind us, for he thought, I will pacify him with these gifts I'm sending on ahead. Later, when I see him, perhaps he will receive me. So Jacob's gifts went ahead of him, but he spent the night in the camp. That night, Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 sons and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. After he had sent them across the stream, he sent them, was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip, so that his hip was wrenched as he struggled with the man. Then the man said, "Let me go, for it's daybreak." But Jacob replied, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." The man asked him, "What is your name?" And Jacob said, "Jacob," he answered. Then the man said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob but Israel, because you have struggled with God and humans and have overcome." So Jacob said, "Please tell me your name." But he replied, "Why do you ask my name?" Then he blessed him there. So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, "It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared." Any questions up to there? The sun rose above him as he passed Peniel, and he was limping because of his hip. Therefore, to this day, the Israelites do not eat the tendon attached to the socket of the hip, because the socket of Jacob's hip was touched near the tendon. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Very happy to read the word with you. We're in Genesis 33. So Jacob looked up, and there was Esau coming with his 400 men. So he divided the children among Rachel and the 2 servants, and he put the female servants and their children in front, Leah and her children, and Rachel and Joseph in the rear. He himself went on ahead and bowed down to the ground 7 times as he approached his brother. And he bowed down. He went ahead and bowed down on the ground 7 times as he approached his brother. But Esau ran to meet Jacob and embraced him. He threw his arms around his neck and kissed him, and they wept. Then Esau looked up and saw the women and children. He said, "Who are these with you?" He said. Jacob replied, "These are the children God has graciously given your servant." Then the female servants and their children approached and bowed down. Next, Leah and her children came and bowed down. Last of all, Joseph and Rachel, and they too bowed down. So Esau asked, "What is the meaning of all these flocks and herd I met, to find favor in your eyes, my lord?" But Esau said, "I already have plenty, my brother. Keep what you have for yourself." "No, please." Jacob said, "If I have found favor in your eyes, accept this gift from me, for I see your face is like seeing the foe. For to see your face is like seeing the face of God. Now that you have received me favorably, please accept the present that I've brought you, for God has been gracious to me, and I have all I need." And because Jacob insisted, Esau accepted it. To this channel, subscribe and comment. Then Esau said, "Let us be on our way, and I'll accompany you." But Jacob said to him, "My Lord knows that the children are tender, that I must care for my ewes and my cows and nursing their young. If they are driven hard just one day, all the animals will die. My Lord go on ahead of his servant, while I move along slowly in the pace of the flocks and the herds before me, and the pace of the children, until I come to my Lord in Seir." Then Esau said, "Then let me leave some of my men with you." "But why do that? Just let me find favor in the eyes of my Lord." So that day, Esau started on his way back to Seir. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Any questions? Jacob, however, went to Sukkoth, where he built a place for himself and made shelters for his livestock. That is why the place is called Sukkoth. After Jacob came to Padan Aram, he arrived safely in the city of Chesem in Canaan and camped within the site of the city. For 100 pieces of silver, he bought from the sons of Hamor, the father of Chesem, the plot of ground where he pitched his tent. Any questions up to there? There he set up an altar and called it El Elohi Israel. In Genesis 34. Any questions up to there? We're going to start a new stream.